And what we can do is we can load in their existing portfolio and then do a side-by-side comparison and say, hey, look, this is how your portfolio is currently invested right now. And in consideration of your values, this is how your portfolio could be invested if you were to bring that investment with us. And you can scroll down and start looking at, like, hey, I know you said, for example, deforestation was really important to you. You can click on the deforestation metric and look at this attributions page. It'll tell you at the top what we used for our source of our information, how we defined that metric itself. And then on the left here, we'll have the companies within our model portfolio. And on the right here, under benchmark, the comparison portfolio of how they're currently invested. And you can move down the portfolio and see, as we start to get into this red, these are companies, or these are funds that are contributing to deforestation based on with whom they're invested. I'll show you what I mean. So PGINX is invested in WestRock, which is a paper and pulp company, and they account for 1.8% of our overall portfolio. So that's some of the metrics and how you can kind of describe some of the performance to the client themselves. This report, you have the ability to upload your logo. You can also change the color. I'm a big fan of using the white just because our logo's background was white. On the fly, if you're talking with them and they're saying, you know, hey, listen, I'm really concerned about this loan to fossil fuel companies. You can dive into that and say, look, where a lot of that is coming from is in our high yield bond allocation with CYBIX. And in particular, they hold a lot of bonds for JP Morgan and Citigroup, which are historically known for making loans to fossil fuel companies. At that point, you can kind of control the conversation. You've went down and you looked at what was a particular area of concern. You can then describe, like, I understand that that's an area of concern, but this is a really great performing high yield bond fund. Oh, and by the way, I don't want to minimize our exposure to the financial services industry. And we would do that greatly if we eliminated loans to fossil fuel companies. And there's ways that we can help you improve that if the client kind of persists and does want to eliminate loans to fossil fuel companies, and it warrants doing that. And I will describe how you can do that in some of our subsequent sessions as well. So yeah, you can add different metrics on the fly as you go. It's relatively intuitive as you go through it. Once you get the hang of presenting a few of these, you'll be able to flip through some of these metrics relatively quickly.